Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Jim's In-Town Gardening. Yesterday, Thursday, I planted some carrots. I had a whole list of things that I had to do yesterday, but I was able to get in the garden and plant some carrots. And what I planted was the tender sweet carrot, and also the scarlet nanties. And then I also put radishes in along it too. So what I've done is I've raked the wood chips away in the row that I'm going to plant. And you can see it got pretty breezy. In fact, we got 35-mile-an-hour winds at times. Interesting. It's always fun to plant seed, especially small carrot seed when it gets windy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scatter these seeds. What I tried to do was go in line. That didn't work all that well. I was in a hurry. The sun was beating on me. You can see I got sunburned, and I don't usually get sunburned. But anyways, what I'm doing is I'm going to plant kind of 2 rows, although a lot of it just got scattered. And that's okay. So I'm planting one type about halfway down through the garden. There'll be a stick in the middle for just a temporary post. And then I'll plant another different type. So what I've done is I've raked the wood chips, kind of loosened up the soil a little bit. Although, under those wood chips, the soil is pretty soft. That's the great thing about these wood chips. Even in clay soil, after time it breaks that clay up. So I'm just about done with the first half. And then I'm going to, like I said, I'll put a little stick in there just to mark it. And I'll go to the next type of seed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. I can't remember the 2 different type radish seeds that I used. I think I show in the camera what it was. And that's just to kind of mark the rows. Like I said, usually I try to do my rows nice and straight, and I didn't do that today. What I'll do is once these carrots come up, and come up decent, I'll take some really fine wood chips. It will be almost like sawdust, and just sprinkle in there just to help keep the weeds down at bay and keep a little bit of the moisture in the ground. Of course, the carrots have quite a top on them, so that helps. But my big thing is trying to keep the pigweed and some of the other seeds or weed seeds that we have at bay. Okay, so I'm on my second package of carrots. I've got this speeded up a little bit, so. And you can see the soil was very moist. Now at the end of the video, because I did put some compost over the top of the seeds, just a thin layer. Carrots are only supposed to be, I think, buried an 1/8 inch deep. Okay, so here's where I'm going to do the radishes. There were 2 different types of radishes. I don't eat radishes, but my wife loves radish. So usually I plant quite a bunch for her, and at lunchtime she'll snack on them. So I'll plant the radishes, and then I'll sprinkle some compost that I had done last year. Stuff that was well cooked and sifted, very, very fine compost. I'll spread that evenly, and then I'll take a garden rake, and I'll just kind of pack that soil, get good contact with the compost and the soil and the seed. And then I ended up watering it after. There you can see and all I'm doing is putting a very light layer over the top of it. And I did water it. I did water it down. We have, up until 3 days ago, we had barely hit 40 degrees. We went right from winter right into summer. Today was 80, 81, 82 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 83, 84. There I'm moving my marking stick. And now this is what I was saying. I pack the soil down just to get good soil, that contact with the seed, but also because of the wind, and the compost is going to dry out pretty quick anyways. And then I have been putting rabbit manure. I've got so much rabbit manure. So you're going to see I just lightly sprinkle the top of that. That will all break down in probably a couple weeks. Rabbit manure doesn't burn your plants, doesn't burn the roots. It's what they call a cold manure, unlike chicken manure or a lot of your other manures. Cow manure, I wouldn't do that with cow manure. Horse manure, I wouldn't do it. Although horse manure isn't too bad. Okay, now here's where I'm going to come in, and I'm going to water it down. You can see the wind starting to blow stuff around. So I'm going to come in and just sprinkle water down. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do the onions. Now, what I didn't show in the video where I planted the onions is I ended up with about 4.5 rows. There's, yep, I'm trying to think of the name of it, the copra, but also the red Zeppelin. That came from Dixondale Farms. Does a real good job. I love those onions. The red ones don't last as long as the copra onions do, but they're just a great onion, and usually they're good size. So here I'm watering this all down in good. We're not supposed to have rain until I think it's just about a week, and temperatures up in the 80s. So for you gardeners who have sandy soil, you know what I'm saying when I say it doesn't take long to dry out. Okay, so here I'm doing my onions just to give them a little extra. Those, I think, because I put the wood chips right around it when I was all finished, I think that will stay moist. But you know what? I'm going to give it just that little. I think this is the first time that I've ever watered my garden since I've started with the Back to Eden garden. Now you can see to the left where the fence is on the left-hand side. I've pushed all the chips away from there. I was going to plant my pole beans there, string beans. And I went to get the seed, and I must have ran out last year, and I didn't get any more. So hopefully one of the stores down the road has some. It's a grain store, bottle redemption stores, so hopefully they'll have some and I can put that in. So we want to thank you so much for stopping by, watching how I do things here in central Maine. Hopefully I can get some more videos up this coming week. I do have a ministry channel. There's 2 videos that are added on there every week. Monday, don't forget about the rabbit update. I try to do that every Monday. And I'm going to do some shout-outs right out also. So look for that probably on Wednesday. Thanks again so much for stopping by, showing your support. We love you. God bless you.